Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to another video. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, today I will be sharing my top 3 resources I think are super helpful for graduate students or those who are considering grad school or those who have applied to grad schools and waiting to hear back. These are some resources that I currently use today. And with looking back at my PhD journey, I really wish that I had utilized these a little bit more in the beginning stages. But you live and you learn. We're here now and I'm using them now, and that is all that matters. So the first resource that I would like to recommend, it's not necessarily a something, but a someone. The first resource I think is super helpful for every grad student and honestly just anyone in life in general. Something that they should always have is a mentor. Now I feel like mentors are there to kind of help you learn from their mistakes so that you don't make those mistakes and you could achieve faster, greater, everything that your heart desires. So I personally have a kind of school mentor and then a personal / school mentor. My school mentor is there to help me kind of navigate academia, thinking about what conferences will be good to go to for networking purposes or what journals are good to submit to based off of my research interests and really what I want to do after grad school. So she helps me navigate all it has to do with academia and also professional development. So that's who I go to when I always have those kind of questions. Now my personal / academic mentor, she's really there for all of it, like every single thing. I talk to her about my personal life, I talk to her about my professional life, I talk to her about random things that pop up into my head. She is literally my go-to for anything, and I absolutely love that about her because she has literally advice for everything. And I'm just like, you are so wise. And she's like, no girl, I really just have had some trials and tribulations. And I love that we can have that honest and authentic relationship because that really helps me feel open to go to her whenever I have some struggles in some areas. And she always, like I said, always has a great word of advice. And it's always nice to just talk to somebody that you know understands and is also willing to help you get better and make better decisions. So in that retrospect, I do believe that it is good to have a mentor for most of the things that you think that you would need some guidance, and you would like someone who has walked this path before to help guide you to make those better decisions. Because as a first generation student and as just like a first everything in my family, I know how tiring and also just frustrating it can be to try to navigate and figure everything out on your own. So mentors are there so that you don't have to do that. You have someone who you can go to when you have questions, and sometimes if they don't know the answer to your problem or your situation, they might know someone else, and that also helps with building network and making those connections that are also beneficial when you want to advance your professional career or even just advance your social life as well, make friends, things of that nature. So yes, I highly recommend, if you haven't already, go ahead and look for someone that you can relate to, someone who you find yourself always gravitating towards, and kind of be like, hey, would you like to be my mentor? We could chop it up for a couple years. And remember, this is a long-lasting relationship, so really find someone that you can connect with and that you think can understand those things that you go through. Okay, so my second resource recommendation is going to be Zotero. So, and I honestly don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but I feel like everyone around me has said Zotero, so it has to be Zotero. If I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. Zotero is a free reference management software, which means it basically helps you get your life together. In grad school, especially if you're on the PhD track, you are reading a lot of papers, so much so that you really don't know where to put them all. When I tell you guys, I have folders within folders within folders within folders, it gets crazy. But Zotero helps you organize everything so you have easy access, easy kind of notations, and it just has everything there for you. In Zotero, you can import any article. If it's a PDF or another file that I'm not sure of, you can import those into Zotero. You can organize them by projects, by tags that you can make for those papers. You can organize them literally however you want, and then you have all of those papers in one nice, concise place. What I love about Zotero is I am a girl that likes to highlight and take notes, and I usually do that on my iPad. But sometimes I find these papers when I'm either talking to my advisor through Flock or Teams or whatever it is, or somebody emailed me a reference because they thought it was relevant for what I'm looking at. it gets a little clunky to transfer everything to my iPad. So Zotero being on my computer, it makes it an easy access to get all those files in there. Also, I can go ahead in Zotero and highlight anything important while I'm reading the article. I can also make notes, and what has been super helpful right now while I've been working on my dissertation are tags. So you can add tags to your papers. For me, I just tag based on topics. So whenever you're writing a paper or whatever, you usually have paragraphs where you're talking extensively about a specific topic. So what I would do is, like, if I see a paper, I will bring out the main topics that they're talking about and add those tags. And then whenever I'm writing, I can always just search up those tags and find all the papers that are relevant to it. So like I said, it really makes it easy to find things. It makes the process of writing and reading articles so much faster. Another great tool that I recently got put on about Zotero, because y'all, I've been hearing about Zotero throughout my grad school journey, but I would open it and be like, oh my gosh, this is so much. And then I would like, okay, I'll just stick to what I know. But recently, when dissertation started and things started getting real, I was like, I need a better system. So I've recently been using Zotero. But one of my co-authors that I'm working with on a paper, she said like, oh, you use Zotero? Just make a group folder. And I was like, I can do that? Like, I thought Zotero was just for me. But no, and this is what adds on to the just efficacy of Zotero. I can make a folder and share it with other people who use Zotero. If we're working on a paper together or something where we're working with the same papers, we can use Zotero to share those papers, and it has our notes, it has our highlights, it has everything we want, so that we can basically talk to each other through Zotero. Like, what did you mean by this? Oh, that's what you meant by this, because you have the tag and you have the highlight. It just makes working with other authors and other researchers a lot more easier and a little bit more fun, if you ask me. So yes, I highly recommend, if you're looking for a reference management system, go ahead and check out Zotero. You will not regret it. And my last resource that I would like to recommend to you guys is Imagine PhD. So Imagine PhD is a career planning and exploration tool. It's specifically for those who are in the humanities and social science. And what it basically is, it's a way to help you plan your life after school. This specific platform is specifically for graduate students and postdocs. So those who have recently earned their PhD and now kind of like in that in-between phase where they're still doing research but haven't yet fully applied to jobs or not fully working at the professor level. So Imagine PhD allows you to take a personality assessment, and they ask you some questions about things you're interested in, your passions, your goals, and things of that nature, and helps create this kind of custom pathway plan, help you prepare for your next stage in life. I think this resource is super helpful, especially now, because in this day and age, a lot of PhDs are not going into academia, but however, academia is really tailored to kind of bring you back into academia. They train you to become a professor and a researcher at an institution. So sometimes they may not have the necessary resources or the knowledge to help those who are not necessarily interested in academia and want to explore some other options. So Imagine PhD curates these steps and these goals and kind of educates you on the different options you have as someone who has earned a PhD. And this could include industry, this could include various ways of teaching, this could include government, this could include many things. Another platform that's similar to this that I have recently found out, because FSU kind of just not started the program, but just partnered with the program, is Beyond the Professorate, and it's very similar to this. I know that for this one, you do have to have a school login because it is not a free service. However, Imagine PhD is 100% free. So you can weigh your options and sometimes maybe even tell your school, you know, Beyond the Professorate is something that you guys can offer us. Beyond the Professor is a little bit more hands-on. They have kind of like resume help. They have practice interviews. They have practice interview questions. It's a little bit more detailed and it's more specific to applying and learning more about non-academic jobs. So those are kind of like hand in hand. I push Imagine PhD a little bit more simply because it is 100% free. And I know as a grad student, you're already not making much, so we want to save money where we can. So definitely check that that out, especially if you're thinking about pursuing non-academic jobs. Well, those were my resources that I have for you guys. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever heard of these resources. If you use these resources, how are you liking them? And if you haven't used these resources, I hope you do try them out and let me know how you like them. Like I said, these are my resources that I feel like every grad student or future grad student should have because they're so helpful. They're free, and like I said, they help with like making life easier, and we're all about making life easier. So if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one.